Welcome class to Management 3110, Organizational Change. My name is Dr. Polly Bayshore and I will be taking you through this course for the next 8 weeks. In terms of how this course progresses, I want to just show you what we will do week to week and how the content will grow through the weeks. First step is urgency. That is where we get the motivation and incentive for change within an organization. It's critical to have this step because it's really the catalyst to change being initiated. Next is putting together that team that's going to make it all happen. And there are certain factors that you have to keep in mind as you select the people that will be part of your team. Next is establishing the vision. The vision acts as your roadmap. Where do you want to go with this change? And you have to show what that end result will look like. Next is buy-in. And this is where you have to get the buy-in of the organization. It could be leaders, it could be employees, it could be key stakeholders. Next is action, and that action becomes your plan. And what steps do you need to take in order to make that change happen? The next step that's really critical in this whole process, and you'll notice that it's not at the top, it's in the middle here, and it's showing those short-term wins. Why do you need to have short-term wins is because it acts as an incentive for the people working not only on the change itself, but also for the organization. If they see benefit right away, they will be more apt to support the change. Next is that motivational factor. How do you keep it going? How do you keep people focused? Because some changes can take longer than others, and so you have to have that momentum. And then lastly, once you have implemented a change, I think one of the hardest things to do is ensure it sticks. And how do you embed those changes within the organization? And one of the key ways that we will talk about is establishing standards that embed those changes. The textbook and reading and video resources for this course will focus on The Heart of Change by John P. Carter. And he highlights those steps that are needed for change to happen. And then we also have other organizational change resources to use through our research guides and their videos as well as readings from that activity. Assignment due dates. Make sure you check the calendar and the assignment due dates. I have varied those from the assignment summary in the introduction. Engagement. This is one of those areas where students always ask, well, how are you going to grade engagement? And I do use the rubric for engagement, but I also wanted to add a few more tips in terms of how do you stay engaged in this course. The primary mode is through discussion threads, and I typically post 1 to 2 discussion threads each week. And I try to use videos, I try to use different exercises maybe that we all can participate in. And so look for those week to week. Next is, because this is an accelerated class, it's only 8 weeks, I do expect that you will be engaged in most days of the week when possible. And it's not just about agreeing with other ideas, but it's also adding sources of information, videos, articles, current events, any of that will help. Engagement is about having a conversation online, and many of you participate in online conversations on a regular basis. It's through social media and other mechanisms. And this engagement is very much like that. It's about having those conversations online and talking with each other and learning from each other. So it's not just about being there daily, but it's also adding and challenging ideas and getting to know each other through that dialogue. So try to check in daily. I always say make engagement a habit. Once it's a habit, you will find that the conversations really grow and become beneficial. And you might find that this is probably the best part of the class, especially when we talk about the changes that we are going through in our own organizations or in our lives. And we talk about how can we be more effective. The ACE assignments, there are some ACE assignments due for this course. They're introduced in week 1 in the module. and they are required to be complete by week 6. The ACE requirements for this course, there are only 5 of them. One is questions for the interviewer, a thank you email, cultural experience reflection, workplace etiquette, and professional organization research summary. Now, once you submit those, I will go ahead and give you feedback, and then you can put those in Handshake accordingly. Now, for those of you who have completed, if you have finished any of these assignments, please let me know, and then also take a screenshot of those items in Handshake, and then I will waive this requirement. There's also a change plan that's due at the end of week 8, and the instructions are showing in Module 1. And basically what that's about is putting together a change management process for a business-related activity or issue that you would like to change. Ideas for that business activity are you could take a look at a process within a particular organization, and that organization can be anything from a charity that you participate in, a church activity or religious activity, or a business that you have worked in previously or you're working in today. So those are options that you can use. You also could take a look at an organizational structural change where maybe roles and responsibilities need to shift or realign. And then lastly, you could also take a look at a new initiative or a project that needs undertaking. Many times people don't think of those as a change activity, but in a sense, the steps are the same. So it could be something new that you would like to introduce to the organization. We will start working on ideas for this week 2. So start thinking about that change you would like to make or propose. And then what we'll probably do is just open up a discussion thread to start working through those ideas. And what I typically do here is I'm going to put together a strategy map for you that you can use to start building this change plan. So you're not getting to the last week and then all of a sudden having to put a paper together. I like to build on these assignments and exchange information on them prior to that last week. If you have any other questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I have my faculty contact information available to you in prior announcement, and I would encourage you to use email, or also you can call and leave a message if I'm not in the office that particular day. But let's go ahead and have some fun, and welcome to organizational change.